So I'm flying solo today and I'm over here at Palma Airport flying to Bristol. We currently have an amber weather alert over the island. We had big storms last night, but I'm hoping we're over the worst of it now. So join me on my journey back to Bristol. Let's go and see what it's like today. And I'll tell you what, I can hear something you normally only ever hear in the countryside and in the summer. You can hear one of those weird chirpy, beefly cicada bugs. There's one around here somewhere, but you can just hear it. It makes the whole airport sound very tropical. Anyway, come on, let's head on into departures. Let's go and see what chaos awaits us today. Okay, so I'm just outside of departures here, and I just thought I'd show you what the sky looks like today. This amber weather warning brought tremendous showers actually at around 4 o'clock this morning. It looks like it's clearing slightly, but that sky does look a little bit ominous. Looks like we could have rain. But I have already received an email from EasyJet this morning saying that our flight is delayed. So let's go and have a quick look at the departures board. So just as I've been warned, look, we've got widespread delays today over here at Palma Airport. Now, I didn't think the storm was that bad last night, so I'm quite surprised to see almost every single flight here is delayed. I'm just looking out for my Bristol flight here. Yes, and that's also got a delayed sign right next to it. We do have one flight cancelled. But anyway, I'm not carrying any luggage today. I'm going to go and check out the check-in desks and see how busy these are. So we're coming up towards the final couple of weeks of the holiday season. And like I've said in my previous videos, well, the island is busy. It's very, very busy at the moment. Let's have a quick look at the EasyJet check-in desk. And it is looking rather busy over here today. I'm not checking in any bags. I'm not even carrying a wheelie case with me. I'm just traveling with a backpack. Should we have a quick look at what Ryanair is looking like today? In fact, the whole airport. Let's go and have a quick look. And it is absolutely packed over here at the TUI desk. Got plenty of holidaymakers going out this morning, my goodness me, and a whole trail of people heading down towards the Ryanair desks too. My advice is, as always, get here in good time for your flight. Your airline always advises around 2 to 2.5 hours before your flight, but judging by these queues, if you're travelling solo, if you're making your own way to the airport, maybe get here just a little bit earlier. Let's go and have a quick look at the Ryanair desk. And it's not looking busy over here at all. I think quite a few flights have already gone out. Anyway, let's head on down through security. So don't forget that security is now on the same floor as all the check-in desks, as you can see here. And I'm guessing that it's actually going to be quite busy today with all the holidaymakers travelling, particularly the package holidaymakers we saw in the TUI queue, probably heading back to the UK. Anyways, let's head on through security and I shall see you on the other side. So I can't believe this, I'm stuck in a really huge queue here. We've got long queues over here at security. We've only got 2 lanes open and I stupidly joined the queues near where the TUI gates are. As you can see today, it's absolutely chock-a-block packed over here. So that took a little bit longer today than on previous trips. It took 20 minutes to get through security. Normally it takes about 5. So if you haven't travelled for a while, always keep checking these boards. As you can see here, look, Bristol flight, the EasyJet flight now has a 12:30 departure time. We were supposed to board, we were supposed to take off at 12 actually. So we've got about a 2.5 hour delay, just as well I brought my book. Anyway, let's head on up into duty free. So with the 2.5 hour delay, I think I've got time to go and get a coffee. Anyway, let's head on up in the direction of duty free. And look as well, look, for all airport geeks, as I come up the escalator here, look, we're right by the air traffic control tower. I can see it's actually, I think it's raining again. This probably accounts for the even longer delay than I had anticipated. I was given a 1 hour delay first thing this morning. I was expecting to board at 11:30, but it looks like that's now been extended. So just coming through the brand new duty free that they have over here at Palma Airport. It's well new for 2025. Those are the lovely perfumes to try on here. Don't forget, if you're travelling to the UK or to America or any third country, don't go buying ham. Don't buy the ham on here. It will get taken from you. I think you should be okay buying some alcohol though. So all of this good stuff here, look, all the ham on, all the fouettes, all the sausages, do not buy it. They do have a foot and mouth outbreak in the UK, and they do have sniffer dogs at the airports as well, so all very expensive stuff, especially as well if you're going into America. You definitely can't take food produce into the United States. They'll be having all this for their dinner if you try and take it through. Anyway, let's keep heading on. So every time we fly out of Palma Airport, it seems like they've opened up new shops, which is amazing. That there's a Desigual clothes shop. I think that's from Barcelona. My goodness, it's busy in here today, in this whole waiting area, kind of in between terminals A and C, and D actually. Loads of people around, and this is the fallout of having a flight chaos here at the airport today with the storms, all the little bit of rain that we had at 4 o'clock this morning, and all the flight delays. Okay, so I should be heading on in this direction to my right hand side, in the direction of Module A or Terminal A for flights to the United Kingdom. But since we've picked up a 2 hour delay, I think I'm going to have a quick look around Terminal C. Let's go and see how busy it is over there. I know most of the flights going out this morning are delayed. Let's go and see what Terminal C is looking like. And as I turn the camera around, oh my goodness, it's absolutely packed here. So if you're flying to anywhere else in Europe, it would be Terminal C that you'd be heading off to. And I'm going to take a very quick walk down in that direction. But let's quickly have a look at all the shops that we have down here. My goodness me, we have quite some shopping centre over here in Palma Airport now, including, and do you know what, I think they're even closing these down in the UK, but look, we've got a Costa Coffee. And this is to the left-hand side of duty free. So if you're a big Costa Coffee fan, this is where you'll find it. Along with some other stores, that we've got a huge sports shop here as well. Cooligan. Never heard of that before. What else have we got? Look, keeping just walking down here. Look, we've got lots of food and snack shops, and also a real Mallorca football store too. It really does bear more of a resemblance here to Barcelona Airport, with all the choice of shops that we have over here. I mean, it is an amazing upgrade to the shopping offering that we have over here at Palma. Look, and we've got a jewellery store right in the centre too. Now this is pretty exciting news, and I'd say this is more exciting for us islanders from the UK maybe, who do like a nice Costa Coffee, rather than you guys coming over here on holiday. So I'm quite excited to see this, but there is quite a queue, and I'm guessing that the video title today may well have to be queues and more queues, and I'm not going to join this one. I think I'm going to wait to get a coffee over in Terminal A. Let's go and take a look at what it's like over in Terminal C this morning, as if we're travelling to Europe. Now, of course, there's no border control here. All the flights going into Europe, there isn't going to be a border control. You obviously get your passport checked at the gate. You get your boarding ticket as well on your phone, checked at the gate as well before boarding, but that's about it. And that is the joy of flying, and that's the joy of flying that we once had in the United Kingdom many years ago. But that's just the way it was. And well, this is the last time I'm travelling before the entry and exit system kicks in. So should we just go and have a quick look at Terminal C today? Let's go and see how busy it is, how many of our European friends are coming into the islands today. And it is so busy, it is very, very busy over here, look. Lots of holidaymakers pouring in for a late season break. I'm sure they're having a shock with regards to the weather today on the island. Don't worry folks, when it does rain like this, the sun does come out. I think I've shown this in a previous video, but look, they've actually put up a sticker board here encouraging all those football fans to put their stickers on that board, not plaster them all over the airport. So just looking to my right hand side here, you can just see the runway. The weather's not actually looking that bad, it has cleared up. I am amazed by the delays today on the network. Goodness me. Anyway, come on, let's keep on going down into Terminal C. And look, we're just coming up to the Starbucks over here in Terminal C, in case you prefer that over a Costa. The choice over in Terminal A en route to the UK and America, I'm afraid isn't so great. There's no Costa or Starbucks. At the last look anyway, you never know, one may have opened. Keep watching on into this video to see if that's still the case. So just coming into the main terminal area here, you can see it's actually, well, it feels a lot bigger than it is over in Terminal A. It's a lot emptier as well. It looks like many of these flights are getting out more or less on time-ish. But at least I'm not picking up too much of a delay. Let's just have a quick look at the board here. That we do have flight delays, but it seems that the flight traffic is moving a little bit more smoothly from over here. So just looking out over the runway here, look, we've got a queue of people waiting to get their plane, but it does look like the sky is clearing. It does also look like it's quite dry outside as well. So that's just the thing. What do you do if your flight has been delayed? Well, my advice, like EasyJet said this morning, get to the airport on time because they may well find a slot to get you away a little bit quicker. As it happens, our flight now has been delayed. I don't think we're going to get away before about 1:30 today. I've got about a 3-hour delay here, but that's fine. Anyway, I'm going to head on through security now. I'm going to head on through border control and we're going to see what the queues are like over there. Then I'm going to get a coffee and I'll jump back here. So don't go anywhere. Let's see what it's like over in Terminal A. Also as well, here's one for you smokers right near WH Smith and this little gift shop here. We've got a smoking area. Let's go and have a quick look. Now I know there is one here. I don't think there is one in Terminal C. And do you know what, it's not quite the outside experience I was thinking. It's kind of more of a ventilated room. I'm not going to go in there, obviously for the people smoking and I don't smoke. But anyway, if you need a quick cigarette and you're over here at the airport, that's where you can go and have one. And it's a little bit of a walk around here. It's about a 5-minute walk from duty free. And just a reminder as well of how easy it is to fly over here from Terminal C. It's a flight to Barcelona that I think has just boarded. Show your boarding pass, show your ID and you're away. None of this border control, fingerprinting, photo taking nonsense. So I'm pretty much coming back in the direction I've just come in. Back up in the direction of the duty free. I'm quite glad of this walk actually. It's kind of cut the waiting time down just a little bit. Let's see how much waiting we've got to do at border control and whether we can see any more information about having the EES machines even on this side of border control. I'm also walking in the direction of the baggage area as well. It's kind of all the same really, all the same route. And I have said this in the previous video, just make sure you don't actually follow the Salida sign and the luggage pickup sign when you're heading on in the direction of Terminal A. So we do still have a lot of people here waiting outside of duty free here in this whole shopping area. I know I've still got about 3 hours until my flight, but I'm still going to head on through border control now. I don't want to really leave it much later because I don't know how many other flights are heading towards the UK. And I want to be on the right side of border control too, so you never really know what's going to happen on this side. But look at all the people pouring through. Also as well, they have extended Terminal A as well. Got a much bigger waiting area. If you have travelled in the past, if you travelled last year, then we've got a much larger waiting area over there now, which is great news. I don't particularly want to do any shopping, and I'm going to give Costa a miss because I'm also heading to the UK, so I can get a Costa there. But they do have a nice coffee place over in Terminal A. I'll show you where that is. But just because of the uncertainty of queues at border control, I'm going to go and get myself through now. And just taking a quick look at the board here, there isn't any real difference to my flight. We were due to take it off at 10 o'clock this morning. Got gate info at 12:15, so it's going to be about a 1 o'clock departure. So there are plenty of cafes this side as well before you hit border control. Absolutely loads of them, loads of choice. And also the biggest McDonald's in Europe too. I would say as well, just looking at the amount of passengers that we do have waiting on this side, I really would veer on the side of caution if you are going to do that. If your flight is delayed, waiting in this area here, because, well, if everyone then leaves at once to go and get their flight, you could end up in the queue at border control, but goodness me. Look at the people here today. So not only were there queues over at Costa, there are massive queues over here at McDonald's. Now, like I said, I know it's the biggest McDonald's in Europe, but I mean, this is crazy. Goodness me. Queues, queues and more queues. Maybe they should get some actual humans to work there rather than those automated ordering screens. But look. And the queue goes down, it keeps going down. Anyway, we're heading a little bit further onto the border control here. Look, we've got lifts either side of the escalators in case you're worried, or in case you're travelling with a pushchair. The views from here are actually quite nice. Look at this, look, right over the mountains this morning. And look at the people, look, we've got loads of people waiting outside the passport check area. Anyway, I shall see you on the other side. I'm going to take out my passport and head on through. And I'll let you know what happened. I'll go and grab a coffee. And I've come out into Terminal A, Module A, whatever you want to call it. And I imagine it's going to be absolutely packed. Anyway, and look at this, look, queues, and even more queues here, look, for this little coffee place, but I'm not going to go here. Got all the expectant travellers hoping their flight time is going to change. Doesn't look like it is actually, and also, I think it's just started raining again. I've just had a message here from Admin Anne from the Facebook group saying how busy Palma is today. And as suspected, Terminal A is looking very busy with all these delayed flights. But I'm going to head on to my favourite coffee place, if it's open. Oh, I can't believe it. They've shut it down. They've shut it down. It's the only thing we've got here is the Cristo, the Cristo bakery. They've got rid of it. I can't believe it. Is Burger King almost my only choice over here? And to think I've passed Costa Coffee, I've passed Starbucks, I didn't get a drink, and what are we left with here? Look, we're left with Burger King, gutted. And let me just have a quick look through the rest of the airport. Let's see if we have any other coffee choices over here. So I don't think a Burger King coffee is even going to touch the sides. This is of concern, I have to say. First world problems, but I do need a half decent coffee this morning. And some breakfast too. And I think I'm out of luck. I can only see a sports bar right at the end here. I don't think we've got any more cafes, but as you can see here, look, I'm back at the passport control for flights coming into the island. And look what we've got to our left-hand side, awaiting the grand start of the EES on October the 12th. Look at all these machines that are lined up to fingerprint and also take the biometric photo of any British or third country passport holder entering Europe. So I can't really show you, but just walking past the huge amount of machines here, there are lots of helpers, and I'm guessing quite possibly they're going to be helping people use these EES machines from October the 12th. Just spinning the camera around here, look, you can just see, just right on the entrance to passport control. But I'm still in search of a coffee. Do you know, it's a little bit quieter up here. I wonder if they'll do me a coffee at the sports bar. I think I might have to grab one from here. But just showing you a little bit more of this area, look, and they've opened up this whole special assistance area as well, look. This is very nice and light and bright. It isn't being used at the moment, but this is brand new. Look, it's even got plants in it. Look, if you want to escape the crowds, this may well be the area to come, but every time I come over here, it does feel like Palma Airport is getting just a little bit bigger, and this whole area is new too, and I can just see actually a sign saying, look, passport control at the end as well, probably pointing you back in the direction that I've just come. But while we have such a long wait this morning for the flight, I thought I'd just walk to the end of the airport as well and just see what else, or if anything else is new down here in Terminal A. Here's a sight I didn't think we'd see this morning. Look, planes boarding. Now you can see just on the glass that it is spitting, but we have a TUI flight heading on back to the UK. We've got a Volotea flight just landing. And look at this, if you want to escape the crowds, come right down to the far side of Terminal A. It's about a 4-minute walk, and look at all these empty seats. I mean, this is lovely. I think I'm gonna go and find myself a coffee and come and sit down here. But look at this, loads of space, loads of room. And miles away from everyone else. Okay, so I've just had an alert from EasyJet, and we have just been given a food voucher because we have been delayed now, and it will be a delay of over 3 hours. I've got a food voucher of €6. I have actually just bought myself a bottle of water for $1.50, but I do remember in past experience, if you do get a bottle of water in any of the shops, that's about €4. So I'm hoping now the food voucher is going to cover the cost of my coffee and also maybe something to eat too. Oh gosh, that was just a horrible ordering system they've got over in the O'Leary's. So basically you have to scan a barcode on the bar, you order your food, you pay for it, and then they'll bring the food to you. But I can't actually see very many people with food or drinks, so I can't be bothered with waiting for that. I know I've got a few hours to wait, but they've also got really annoying music in there as well. Anyway, looks like we've just got a flight coming in this morning. Look, obviously the EES machines are not open. But just to give you an idea, no queues over at passport control by the looks of it, which is good news, but lots and lots of people arriving, which hopefully means flights are now going to be going out. I'll just keep another eye on my flight here, look. Looks like we're going to be getting gate information at 10 to 12. I just looked to my left here, and I've just seen an ambulator in action. Look at the special assistance passengers, see the barrier-free bus has pulled up to the entrance to the plane. I think this is a Jet2 flight in front of me. And this is either unboarding or boarding special assistance passengers. So I'm right at the back here of a very long queue for the bakery and the coffee. I'm going to see what I can get for my EasyJet voucher here for food. So with €9 to spend, this may well be the best place to come look. €7.50 here for a toasty, €9.50 for a sandwich. Goodness me, I'm glad I brought my own. What else can we get here today? Look, drinks here, €3.80. That's why I bought the bottle of water, which over here, that costs €3.80 too. That's why I always say, pay $1.50 and get it from the machines. So the absolute stress of that was chaos. Lots of people waiting to get drinks. Got myself a coffee though, check that out. That was about a half an hour wait. Now I did get a message on my phone saying that we'll be boarding from gate A5. I'm outside of 14 here, so thank goodness it's right at the other end of the terminal here, in the quiet bits I looked at earlier. So the empty area of the airport has just got busy, and I think passengers on my flight as well have also got the message and they've headed down here too. So I've got to say, the absolute advantage of being a YouTuber is on days like this when you're travelling and there is a delay at the airport, because I've been filming so much. This is probably going to turn into a really long video, so I really appreciate you watching this, but my goodness me, at least I've got something to do while I'm waiting for my flight. Anyway, over at the cafe, let me just show you what I got for €9, because our flight has been delayed now. I think by the time we leave here, it would have been delayed for 3 hours. We had a €9 voucher or a £6 voucher. So I got myself one of these bars here, nice little healthy bar. I've got some not so healthy Tyrrell's crisps. I've not seen these for ages. And it's a sweet chilli and red pepper flavour. I think they do them in Carrefour, but I'm not often in Carrefour, so I never get them. And I have a questionable coffee as well. It's supposed to be cafe con leche. Well, I can say it's quite strong, so I think that'll hit the mark. But anyway, so why am I over here in Palma Airport, and why am I travelling out on such a stormy day? Well, this time of year, I normally try and pop back and just make the most of the low cost of flights as well that we do have at this time of year. I've been telling you guys as well, there's some great offers to be had on flights coming over to Mallorca for a last minute holiday, and I got one such flight heading on back to the UK. In fact, my flight was actually supposed to be going this afternoon, but minutes before doing my live stream on Sunday, I saw news that a storm was coming over the islands. So I actually decided to just buy myself a cheap flight with EasyJet to go earlier on in the day. And that's going to mean as well, I'm going to lose my Ryanair flight this afternoon, but it doesn't matter because I couldn't actually afford to be late arriving back at Bristol Airport. Why? Because I have a car booked. I have a car rental booked, and if I got the afternoon flight and the car rental hall had closed, that would mean that I'd be stranded at Bristol Airport. And it would mean either an expensive taxi ride either to and from the airport, and then that wouldn't have made the whole trip worth making. So I just got up a bit earlier this morning to get the flight and to just spend like the whole morning waiting at the airport. But I'm still going to get out of here earlier, which is on the upside, and I'm still going to get to go home for a couple of days, I hope. So stick with me. And I'm going to ask you as well, consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already, because I'm going to be on one of the final flights back to Europe just before the EES starts, and that starts on the 12th of October, and this is information you're going to need to know if you're a third country traveller. So if you're travelling from the UK, I've already made a video about it. I'll drop it in the description text below. Go and check that out, but join me on my flight back to Palma in just a few days. But in the meantime, I'm going to have something to eat, and then fingers crossed we're going to hopefully get on that flight. But anyway, let's see what happens. Okay, so the time is now midday, and what feels like an eternity, we now have a gate number here, and it's gate A218. Didn't even realise there's over 200 gates over here in Terminal A. I know they've expanded, but my goodness. But look, you can see it marked here. Gone from A10 to A227. Now where's this? Where is this? Which part of the airport is this? Let's go and find out. And they're boarding in 10 minutes. See what I mean? You have to keep checking the boards. So it looks like I've had loads of delayed flights coming in at once over here at Palma Airport. The queues for passport control, they are moving, but there are lots of people arriving here all at once, and thank goodness I see blue skies over the mountains. The skies are clearing over here in Mallorca. So look, we can see gates 290 to 215 down these steps, but we're still going a little bit further up here. 218 I think it was. Bizarre numbering system. But anyway, I think we're going to be boarding down the steps. Doesn't look like we're going to be getting an air bridge, so it's just as well the weather has cleared up. And it is down these steps. There is also a lift as well for anyone that needs it. And here we are, gate 218. And here is my flight for Bristol. Other people already down here waiting. I'm going to take a seat. So I've just had a nice chat with a couple heading off to Luton. But look, looks like the flight's boarding over here soon. There's very little seating down here, just to let you know. If you are sent downstairs, looks like we may well be bussed out as well, unless the plane's literally outside of the building here. But it looks like a bus could be coming to pick us up. Like I said, thank goodness it stopped raining. And good news, we are boarding finally. I've been standing here in this queue now for about 10-15 minutes. I think they're just using the one queue now to get passengers from the terminal to this plane. What a wait, what a wait. As I'm hoping that is now our bus. Fingers crossed. 10 minutes later, and we're still here waiting in the queue for the bus. I mean, I can't complain because I think around 30 flights are delayed today, and of course I would have to be on one of them. Just to let you know, I do seem to be jinxed. Every time I fly out of here, I always encounter problems. But anyways, it's 10 to 1 now. Let's see what time we leave here today. Just looking up at the air bridge on my right hand side here, look, I can see there are people standing on an air bridge waiting to board a TUI flight. They're also fanning themselves, so I'm guessing that the air conditioning is not on in there. And I did find actually Terminal A to be very, very hot today, apart from at the far end where I was sitting. And another bus that has arrived. 15 minutes later, everyone's starting to lose their patience a bit now. So as we continue to wait here, I'm actually suspecting that there's no crew on the plane. I have a feeling that they were so delayed coming in, they've either had to have a change round or have a break. Because now we are rolling beyond, what time is it now? 1:05. And here comes bus number 3 with passengers. They won't be getting on either because look, honestly, I don't think there's anyone on the plane. Who knows, maybe the cabin crew have arrived, let's see. And I think I can see what our hold-up is. As we move slightly along here, look, I think the special assistance ambulators just arrived, and I think they have to get these guys on first before we can board. And I'm still yet to see a member of cabin crew here. Look, there's a technico guy standing at the door of the plane. He hasn't been let aboard. I don't think the captain's actually here. I have to say, I'm not dramatising this is a nightmare. We've now been stood here for about 20 minutes on the bus. Everyone's packed onto the buses. My advice is, if this ever happens, get onto the last bus because that's a lot emptier than the packed bus I'm on at the moment. The kids are trying to hold it together. Can't blame them for losing it. I feel on the edge of losing it myself, but look, just getting the plane cleared. Look, I think even the technico's wondering where the crew have gone. I honestly don't think there's anyone on this plane. Can things get any worse? That other flight I mentioned that I booked this afternoon, the Ryanair flight, I feel like getting off and getting that now, seriously. Just want to get out of here.
Can I have a picture back? It's been delayed.
Look, more chatter here about what's going on with this flight. No crew member at the door either. Just doesn't look like we're going to get on anytime soon.
Here we go, Max.
The doors are opening, I can't believe it. So the crew were aboard after all. And we're aboard, thank goodness. The crew must have been having a break. I think we'll let them off. But we're on the flight now and we're just on that bus for, felt like forever. And do you know what? I think they've had a problem with handling today. I don't think today is one of the strike days, but this plane has been waiting for quite a while, and you can see, look, there are crew on board, but are there passengers aboard? Well, they've just attached the stairways here. I assume they're going to be getting passengers off. They've got 2 empty buses waiting. I think these are the ones that brought us aboard. But yes, look, these guys have been waiting to disembark their flight too, and I'm guessing this may well be another delayed flight coming into Palma Airport today. So, what a palaver over here at Palma Airport today, my goodness me. Not enough buses, not enough stairs, not enough sunshine either. I think that rain, the storms that have had over mainland Spain here, well, they've been causing delays across the flight network over the past few days. And look, it's going to take a while to sort all of this out too.
A delay to your departure this morning, this afternoon in fact. Should have been this morning, but it's now this afternoon. We've had a bit of a day of it so far. I don't know what you've been told so far, but let me at least give you our perspective. We started off the day with a air traffic control restriction for the inbound flight from Bristol to Palma. Something generated by air traffic control due to the bad weather that was forecast for the Palma area this morning. So that put us back from the outset. And we've actually sat on the ground in Bristol for around about an hour just waiting to depart.
Yeah, it's just until they've taken off.
When we then started moving to departure, we picked up a small technical issue, which delayed us even further. It took us a little bit of time just to resolve that, but we fixed, and eventually we were on our way down to yourselves. We then had a rather extended turnaround on the ground today. My apologies that for so many of you, you were sat waiting on your coaches, waiting to come up the steps. I can only appreciate how frustrating it must have been. Unfortunately, there's been a bit of a backlog this morning with the special assistance passenger handling here in Palma, and we were just at the back of the queue, unfortunately, for that particular team, which is why you were sat or stood on the coaches waiting for as long as you are. I'm sorry about that. I know that wasn't as comfortable as it could have been. Nevertheless, we are underway now, and we'll be moving as soon as I finish saying hello.
To take you into Bristol. This was due to weather and air traffic control restrictions this morning. Do hope to get back as quickly as possible. Flight time of 2 hours and 10 minutes.
So we are now moving. We're finally heading away. It's just gone 1:30 over here in Palma. Now this is interesting because the captain came on to say that the delays this morning were due to air traffic control, but he also mentioned a technical issue on the flight as well as the weather. Now on that basis, I'm going to be filling in that compensation form just in case, because we never know. Interestingly enough, the air hostess, one of the cabin crew, came on to then say it was just air traffic control and weather was the problem and nothing about the technical issue. But I'm just going to fill it in anyway, and let's see what happens. I shall report back if I'm successful in my claim. So off we go. We are leaving, and we're departing, well, pretty much the same route we took last time we left the airport. Look, right behind the air traffic control tower. Just coming up by Terminal C here, which you saw earlier on in this video. With a real big tour of Palma Airport this morning. And we are off. I don't think we're going to get any great views down the coast today. Let's find out. So we have arrived 3.5 hours late, but we're here and look at the weather that we've arrived in Bristol today. The question is it warm? I'm not so sure, but at least we've got here. And we're not beating about the bush with getting the cases off the plane today. Look, all refuelling too. I suspect we've got some delayed flights going out right after this one. And moving here very, very quickly. And we are coming down the steps here to wonderful sunshine, and it's not even cold at all. Look, I can just see a TUI flight being pulled out, but I think this has got to be the warmest autumn I've ever come into in the UK. Bearing in mind we are 1 day away from October. Goodness me, this is the final day of September, and it feels like summer. I don't even think I need a coat today. I can see a lot of the ground workers are just wearing t-shirts. I'm not surprised. Gosh, what an amazing day here in Bristol. Anyway, we've got a little bit of a walk here going to the passport control area. And I've just seen some self-service wheelchairs here at Bristol Airport, which is a fantastic idea, particularly for those who haven't booked special assistance. What a long journey this has been today. Just see a sign here. So the passport check took approximately 30 seconds. Didn't have to wait. Passport machines worked really well. But look, we've got a few queues here for the baggage, for the luggage. Got a few flights in at once at the moment, but like I said, I've just got my backpack, so I'm getting out of here really quickly. Off to go and find my hire car. And thank goodness I got this flight as well, particularly if the other flight was also delayed, which I suspect it will have been today. So as I step out into the sunshine and into the warmth at Bristol Airport in September, which I think is a sentence that I have never said before, thank you very much for watching. I will be flying back to Mallorca in a couple of days, so join me on that journey too. Let's hope it's going to be a little bit of a smoother journey than this trip was, because, well, just about almost everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong. We had a technical issue, we had air traffic control problems, we had bad weather, and there were some really, really bad handling issues over at Palma Airport with all the delayed flights. With that brought a 3-hour delay. But anyway, 10-minute walk will take me to my car hire hall. Off to go and see the family. Guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget you can find me in the Mallorca Under the Sun Facebook group, on the Facebook page and on my Instagram too. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Goodbye for now.